Moving on. Shimko's dream. Is it Bolu that will tell us what happened with GetEquity's CEO? It was in the news earlier this week.
Okay, I'll tell you some of what happened, and maybe Chingozin will tell you the remaining. So, GetEquity's COO,
CEO.
Temitope Ekundayo, was detained by the police for 2 days in Lagos because funds were not paid. So, if you don't know what GetEquity does, in simple terms, right, GetEquity is like that platform where they say they are democratizing investment, something like that. So you have a startup, list on GetEquity, people see your startup there, and then they can invest in you through GetEquity. So the story is that, okay, we raised money on GetEquity, and GetEquity has not paid us the money we raised. So the name of the company that raised on the platform is called Pepper. And, from the reports, they said they approached GetEquity to raise money. And after months of back and forth, okay, where's the money? This, that, they could not get the money. And then they decided to use brute force. Decided to use brute force using the police, right? Which I think is also something very interesting. I mean, something we already know that people do in Nigeria. Isn't necessarily legal.
Yes.
But it's something people do. So they arrested the CEO, put him in
detention.
In detention for 2 days. And, GetEquity also made comments. He said it was just an intimidation tactic. Which I think worked, because from the reports they said they've now paid everything. So GetEquity was like, the reason why we didn't pay was because of FX issues. So I think that's the angle Chimgozirim now comes in to help us understand, okay, how does GetEquity work and why is FX issues affecting payouts?
I mean, why do I have to be the one to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I heard you talk about it, and
earlier
it was
in the week,
pretty clear to me why they might have issues.
Okay.
Why the dollar going up and down might be an issue for them.
All right.
Paying
so,
people.
What does GetEquity do? It's basically a marketplace, like Bole explained. You have a company. I discovered you can also raise money for other businesses. But you have a business or a startup and you want to raise money, so you put it out there, and then people come there, they make the investments, and there's something called secondaries. So let's say I've already raised money and I want more investors to come in. I could sell. So there could be some investors who also want to like sell their stake in the company. So they could sell that to other people. So someone else can buy that. So those are like the two major ways they function. So currency fluctuations. So how Nigeria's FX FX market has been now for the last 1 year.
Even ChatGPT
all of us are now trading dollar in this country. But
Nice.
for GetEquity, the explanation they gave is they have investors paying in different currencies, and then they settle the companies who are raising in USD. So between when the money comes in and when the money is paid out, the value can change.
Yeah.
So how does this affect them? Pepper's fundraise was completed in July, and this was just when the currency fluctuation became really bad. I think the Naira was floated in June, and then they finished their fundraise in July. Since then, we've gone from like 700 Naira for a dollar to about, I think, as of yesterday, about 1,150 Naira, depending on who you're buying from. So that difference could get you into a little trouble. So someone gives you $20,000 today at the exchange rate. Let's say this morning it was 700 Naira, and you tell me I'm going to get. Okay, let me paint a different picture. So they were raising 43K. You won't get the money immediately. Some people would put and what we don't know is how long it took. So maybe some people invested when it was maybe they invested when the dollar was exchanging for maybe 400, 500,
Mhm.
and then some people would probably pay in euros, pounds, all of that, but you're settling
Dollars.
in dollars. So that difference, you don't have any guarantee that the naira or that the other currencies are even going to be at the same level
Right.
always. So it could always affect you. What one question I'm now asking is, um, I believe Get Equity is very aware of this, that they can't control that.
Yes, market
So
forces.
do they give any assurance to their startups, or do they let them know that okay, this money is probably going to be coming from different currencies, or we are settling you in only one, which means they should probably
It can
give
be
some
fluctuation.
allowance
So
that
that
what you
was
get.
actually my thought. That I think what is missing here might be communication.
Yeah, so maybe they didn't
It has to be
properly
because anybody
communicate
that
it to
does
them.
business, these are basic things they are aware of. But if you don't communicate to them as somebody handling their money, they're bound to be
Definitely.
miscommunications or using brute force as they were, or trying to intimidate them. So I think what Get Equity can do with this is just to be plain with communication. Yes, some things you can just feel like these things are obvious, for crying out loud, but you don't know. It might not be really obvious.
Yeah,
So I think Get Equity should just
I
communicate
mean,
to
even when
the
it's obvious,
startups.
people may not really
that's the
they may
thing.
not really know.
Especially
That's
when
one
there's
thing.
money
They may
Mm.
not know about all of that. So I think one of the issues was they raised the money when they wanted to withdraw. Um, Get Equity said we can't pay now
Mm-hmm.
and proposed the 4-week payment plan, which
which they agreed
yeah
to,
which they
according to
agreed
reports.
to, but which they couldn't
Meet
meet
up
up
with.
with. So it's possible that it wasn't because I don't know how many startups were raising at that period.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that if your other startups were having similar issues,
Mm-hmm.
which could have played a factor or played a role in their inability to repay when they said they would repay.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that communication can help.
It's important.
It's very
They really
important
need
so
to
that
work on it.
you
And
don't make you don't start having unnecessary issues. Yeah.
yes, these are like basic business challenges. I don't think it's something that should raise alarm until we see a trend.
Yeah, yeah.
Until we
Except
see a
except
trend,
there's a trend, there's like a pattern, then maybe it becomes
an
worrying.
issue.
Yeah.